So here we have our Fullex AI new lock. This is going to be one of a series of videos, and as we can see with this app, I can simply lock or unlock the door very easily, so with an app and different methods which I'll show you over the next couple of videos. The first thing to say about our lock is that it's designed around the crime beater lock because it's very resilient as a lock, but we've had some changes to it to add the electronics in and a particular way that we want this lock to physically work. One of the things that you will notice is that we have developed a method for the handles, so ramrose handles in particular, and we've done this in a particular way. So this handle will be usable not only on this electronic lock but on a new lock that we'll be bringing out fairly shortly under our Deadlock brand. So we've developed a system that these handles can both rise up and they can go down, which is unusual in ramrose handles, unique to us. And we've also developed the fixings so that fixings can go through the physical lock itself, and that will then give security of the fixing of the handle so it won't pull off. We don't want just to rely on screws because you can't use screws, let's say on a composite door, with any security. On a timber door it's hit and miss, and on obviously on PVC it'd be a problem. So let's quickly take a look at how this lock will actually work. We've tried to make it as simple as is possible. So currently this is working on an auto lock, but we can also work on a rise and fall handle. So the door will shut. What happens is there's a countdown which can be controlled by the user, and then you can see that the door has now locked. Fairly simple on that side. And then we can use one of a few methods to unlock the door. We can use the app, we can use a fob, which I'll show in a second. Just use it there. We can simply get back in. We'd envisage most of our customers or our users to actually get into this lock using the app, which I showed you earlier, or they'll use the fob that we have. And if there's an emergency, and if they want to have this feature added, then we have a mechanical override which will come behind a high security escutcheon. And as you can see, we've already developed this override based upon our horizontal Kinetica keyway. So this is an optional extra. If people want to use it, they would buy this along with a high security escutcheon, which would fit centrally in the lock position. So some people want to have that, some people won't, but they have that optional extra. So from the external side, there are 3 ways that they can get into this lock. From the inside, there are 4 ways that you can unlock your door. One is to use the fob. The second one is to use your app. The third one is there's a couple of buttons on here that you can push down, which is what we would normally see. And the fourth one would use the manual emergency override. You would use this in case there is a total absolute failure of all power for some time. We can't envisage it happening, but in any case, we've actually built it in. And you would simply insert a key. I'm just showing you with the key we have here. You could then turn that to that position, and then you can then push the handle down, and you'll. I thought people may be interested in just looking at the intricacy of how clever some of these components is. So this is the PCB that goes inside the fob or remote. As you can see, there's an awful lot of work in that product. It's made in Hungary between us, a partnership with UAP. And we'll be producing the brains of this, and all of the security will be in Hungary, which is in the EEC. So it will be under EEC rules and law, which obviously then has GDPR requirements. And that again sets us apart from a lot of our competitors who will produce, let's say in China, where the cybersecurity isn't as high as we have in the rules in the EEC. So we think that again will give people a lot of confidence. When we started to design this system a couple of years ago, one of the main features that we wanted to introduce was wireless charging. We discussed with our customers why they didn't like electronic locks and what they want to see advanced and changed. And one of the big problems that people have is drilling from the hinge side of the door all the way through the door to allow the cables to get in for the charger. So we didn't want to do that. So what we've done is something really simple. It's clever, but it's very simple in terms of what you physically see. So this here is the charging coil. So there's a plastic cap over the charging coil. And this unit here will fit into a hole in the keep, which then goes into the frame as standard. And that will then just go when the door is shut. As you see, it'll be about 4 millimeters, 3-4 millimeters away from that. That'll then give permanent charging. All the customer has to do will be to hook in, just put in the 2 wires in the 5-volt adapter, and then either plug it straight into the wall socket that we will supply, or alternatively they can physically wire it into a circuit using an electrician. But from our point, we will actually supply the 5-volt adapter that they need. So all they need to do is whack that into the door jamb on the opening side, and then put the wire down the inside of the jamb or the outside, whatever they prefer to do, and that will then give them permanent charging. And we believe that feature is huge and will be a major advantage to us going forwards. Just looking at the hardware, the handles that will go onto a door. We have initially developed this system to work with a new range of round rose handles. This particular one is from an Oro range, which we have now developed. And we also are developing across all of our round rose handles. So that means people can choose from a budget style round rose handle all the way through to, as you can see here, an expensive Oro. We've also future-proofed this product by putting this slot here, and that will accommodate a high security 243 handle if people prefer that. We just have to develop the internal handle for that so that that'll match with the control panel, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But what we now have is a huge range of handle options and budgets to suit every type of customer and pocket. We also wanted to make the fitting as easy as possible, because people look at electronics and think it's really difficult. We think we've made a really simple system. And what we have is a pull down cover there. Take out the bolt, or the screw, whatever you want to call it. There. This is then the internals of the electronics. And that's it. So they would fit the lock, they fit a cover plate, they pull the wire through, and that's it. So a customer will simply fit the lock as normal. They'll route their door prep as normal. Probably go down a couple of centimeters below the case, or a centimeter or so below the case, just to allow the cable some room. They will slot the cable through into a groove here. They can determine whatever size they wish for that. Put the fixing plate over, and it'll be as simple and as straightforward as that. That's all they have to do. Everything else is done for them. It's all done in the case. And then this unit here, which I'll describe in a few seconds, will come in a box which they can send along with this unit to site. We haven't yet finished the control box. It's flashing red just because it's not connected. It can't detect the lock at the moment in time. We're just completing this, which we'll complete after Chinese New Year in terms of tooling. But everything on the inside is complete with a battery. This is a barcode just in case the customer loses a registration card, and all the electronics. This is the brain of the system. It's relatively small, probably about 3 inches, 75 millimeters, so it's quite small, but that is the brain of a Fullex AI Ionic. And it's a very neat unit and very simple to fit. So they would take this out of the box, they'll just fit the cable onto there, hook it over, screw it back on, and then they will be able to set it up for the customer. Very easy. This is your final video. So as you can see, it's a really clever system. It's clever and it looks simple, but it isn't simple in any way, shape or form. But it's been designed to make it easy to fit and easy to use. We are now very close to launch. We're in our stage now of building locks, as you can see, and ironing out any little issues that we may see. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to start giving this out to the sales team so they can then take it into customers for their own feedback, and then we'll be doing free samples into customers to get them on trial, and again to iron anything out. And we would expect to launch fully this product by about June of this year as a complete set, and that should include our new Bluetooth Wi-Fi converter, which will enable people to sit on their beach and open their doors from anywhere around the world. So that is Ionic.